Addie's Bridal Glam was a piece of perfection, so I'm going to be talking everything technique to creating this look. Start by carving out the brow about 1 mil below where their hair starts. You'll always get a crisp line that way, and if you're struggling to get those brows even, give them a bit of a monobrow and blend it out later, and that helps to line everything up. A clean brow brush will erase any mistake you make, so keep that handy while you're creating that crisp line. If you're working with an unset base, you want to give it that demi-matte finish by tapping over with a synthetic brush until it kind of air dries and sets itself. When working with an unset base, you really need to have a light hand. Start where you want the product to be the most pigmented, and as less eyeshadow is on your brush, that's when you want to disperse and blend further and further out. When there's barely nothing, that's when you go out into the temples and back through the brow down the nose. As you go deeper with your eyeshadow, you want your brush to be smaller and you want your movements to be less. This will prevent your eyeshadow becoming too messy, too muddy and too dark where you don't want it to be. When it comes to tight lining, you want your client to look the opposite direction of where you're going to actually be poking them, if that makes sense. It won't prevent watering, but it'll give you the best chance for your client to be as comfortable as possible. And if you are using any sort of creamy pencil, even if it says waterproof, the best thing you can do is set it with a shadow just to ensure that's locked in, especially on a wedding day. I truly have no idea how makeup artists do face first and then eyes, because I must be the messiest makeup artist ever. I always have to do eyes first so I can clean it up afterwards. Anyway, moving on to the face, I'm wanting her base to be covered but glowy. So to achieve this, I go back and forth between a brush and a sponge, but in my opinion, nothing can beat a sponge when it comes to making foundation look natural and glowy and skin-like, if that makes sense. If you're going for that full glam base, then a brush is 100% the way to go. Same with concealer. I don't think I can blend out concealer with a brush. It just, in my brain, it does not match. A sponge is where it's at, 100% for concealer. Again, because we're going for that glowy look, I used a sponge for both her cream bronzer and cream blush, and then I moved on to brows. And can you see how easy that was to do her brows because I carved them out beforehand? They were pretty much looking done, and I just added a little bit where the areas were sparse. So you don't go overboard with powder. Sometimes going in with a brush first, extremely lightly, can do what you need it to do without using a puff. If a puff is necessary, then by all means, just make sure you're blending out any creasing first before you go in with setting, because it's kind of pointless setting in the creases. So blend it out, then go in and set. Super light. And if you notice, I'm not using any kind of long swiping motions. It's just nice light taps just to create that really flawless, seamless application of bronzer and blush. And one trick I always teach my students is taking your bronzer from the outer corner of your eyeshadow and blending it into your temple. Such a small technique, but makes the world of difference with that seamless transition from your eyeshadow to your bronzer. It kind of just makes your eyeshadow look like it's blending into nothing. As you're doing under eyes, swipe, step back. Let them breathe, swipe, step back, let them breathe. If your client has super sensitive eyes, especially blue eyes I find are more sensitive than others, giving your client space breaks is probably the best thing you can do for them when it comes to stopping or preventing watering. Also, trying to find the smallest tool you can find to apply mascara helps that cause too. When it comes to lips, I never am able to complete an application without having to clean it up afterwards. I don't know what it is. I just can't. The day I complete a lip application without having to clean up, I will probably cry. So if you're anything like me, just keep a concealer brush with your client's foundation shade handy to crispen everything up afterwards. Before you go in with setting spray, don't be that makeup artist that doesn't give your client space to change and tweak their makeup. Let them see, ask them if they want anything changed, and then when they're happy, go in with your setting spray. That way, without fail, you'll have a happy face leaving your chair.